All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Lowdown on the TSWS Gaming YouTube channel. Thank you for those of you that are showing up now and those of you that decide to show up after the fact. But we are here to talk some games today. There's been quite a bit of news that's dropped that's been pretty interesting that we want to definitely chat about, talk about. And just to get something out of the way real quick, Loke, I know you guys see, is not here. He should be here this coming Friday, but he had some family issues that he needed to get settled out. Everything's hopefully fine over there, but he has some stuff that he needs to handle. So thank you everybody that came through and are here to listen to Ham lead the show this time. But anyways, without any further ado, Matt, what's cracking with you, brother? How you been doing, man?
I'm doing very good, sir. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. I'm excited to talk about the news. I'm just excited to talk about the news, man.
Is there anything that you're particularly excited to talk about here today?
I feel like there's a pretty big thing that happened last week that we'll probably mention, but that's up to you. That's up to you, bud.
Screw it. Let's get into it. What do you think that is?
Well, I mean, the Phil Spencer interview.
Oh my goodness gracious! It's it's the conversation that never ends.
No,
all right, yeah. Let's hold off on that just for a little bit, and let's get into something else because I feel like everybody and their mom's been talking about that. So, I'll save that for towards the end of the episode, so then we can kind of get our bars off before we get out of here. But I see Punty came through. He said Sony committing video game crimes in the broad daylight while accusing Xbox of doing the same thing. They must think we are blind. Oh man, he came in spicy. He came in spicy into the chat. Goodness gracious. Bless you, brother. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you at all. But the first thing that we're going to talk about, which it's funny that you brought up Sony, because here we're going to talk about the rumors about Konami and PlayStation's exclusivity deal. What do you think about that? Is this something that you were possibly looking into if they ever, got back into, if Konami got back into getting into the Metal Gear games? I know that you've told me that like some of the older versions of Metal Gear are just don't feel right.
Yeah. If they're doing anything before Metal Gear Solid 4, I'd be down for that because those games need it most. Like the gameplay in all those games is just, I don't know. I wasn't there for when it launched, so I can't. I mean, but it feels bad to play for me. But as far as Sony, as far as the deal itself or the rumored deals, I mean, I just can't believe Sony is making deals behind closed doors. I find that difficult to believe. I'll believe it when I see it, I'll believe that when I see it because it's just hard to believe that Sony would do something. Oh.
Yeah, I'd be Punty, I appreciate you. He says, have a good show, man. Love your shows. I appreciate you for coming through anytime you got the time of day to come through and do this. But in this article that I'm reading from Game Rant, they actually highlighted something that Idle Sloth put down in off of Twitter. So the thing Idle Sloth put down was, according to Special Nick, Metal Gear Solid 3 remake might be at an upcoming PlayStation showcase and will have some sort of exclusivity attached to it. His source said he thinks, and it's not 100% sure. Do you think? Do you actually think that Microsoft is just going to roll over on something like this? Because we know PlayStation is
Unfortunately,
PlayStation. You know, PlayStation is going to PlayStation.
oh yeah. Unfortunately, for something like this, I think they will. I think they will because, like, first of all, they got other things on their mind right now. On whether we like it or not, they're still trying to get ABK. I mean, folks already know how I feel about that. I'd much rather it just be over at this point, but that is not what Microsoft is about. So they're focused 100% on that. As for this deal, like, I feel like Microsoft would like to have Metal Gear Solid 3, obviously. That'd be great and everything. Just to have the cachet of a Kojima game being remade on their platform, but I don't know. I would not be surprised to see this as a PlayStation 5 exclusive. That wouldn't surprise me at all. And I think that Xbox is going to have to start, at some point, they're going to have to start doing some deals in a similar vein. Or maybe not. And we'll talk about that later.
I apologize, Hazardous Gaming just came in. Welcome so much. He said, well, I posted that before, Sloth.
Oh, nice.
Good to see you in here. Good to see you in here for sure. Yeah, I mean, I totally think that, Microsoft probably, they're so focused on themselves and getting stuff done for them right now that I'm not sure that they really care. I mean, I think they care to have stuff that people obviously want to play, but as we see, the main focus for Xbox is like Game Pass. Game Pass, getting things into Game Pass, focusing on themselves, getting stuff taken care of. This last interview with Phil, which, like I said, we'll talk about more of that later, but it really went to show you that, like, it really went to show you that if any time now they are like just completely just almost what you would call tunnel vision. They got tunnel vision, and it's literally just for their own ecosystem. So they may miss out on some premium, fantastic titles that we really wish they'd have come over. But, I mean, would I like to see it come over? Absolutely. Would I be surprised if it didn't show up? Not even slightly.
100%.
Not even slightly. I hope if there is any exclusivity deal that it's only like 6 months or a year or something like that. And I think I think although that would suck, I mean, Metal Gear is one of those games that people are gonna play it. People are gonna play it, and it is it in my opinion, that's a system seller right there for sure. Although it is third party, so like that's just one way for Sony to possibly get into even further of a lead. But I just don't think it's Xbox's main thing to chase third party developers anymore.
I feel like I want to say we talked about this last night. Not this deal, obviously, but that whole quarterly cadence for Microsoft, where a game every quarter. Right. I feel like that kind of takes care of having to do deals like this. As long as your first party's outputting a game every quarter, then I mean, there's no need to rush out and make a deal for Metal Gear. Now, would people like that? Obviously, I mean, for sure, people would love that. But it's like, if your focus is first party, and they seem to be shifting their focus towards first party, then I feel like it's going to be kind of like how PlayStation did the PS3, where PS3 had to catch up by doing first party, whereas Xbox was doing exactly what PlayStation is doing now. It's like Gears of War, that wouldn't have been exclusive, but they made it exclusive. So it's like, and now that's just an IP for Xbox. Now it's just an Xbox IP. But like, they were doing stuff like that back then. I feel like Microsoft's in a position now where Sony was in the PS3 era, where they're entirely focused on third party, and that is going to get them through once they start hitting that cadence.
Yeah, because as we have seen, this year has been pretty slow for Sony. For as much as, you know, they prepare themselves, it's kind of surprising to see like only one real like first party game is coming this year from them. So when people give Microsoft all this flack about, oh, well, where's the games? What's going on? What's this? Imagine Sony with all, or don't even imagine, it's the reality. Sony has all these fantastic IPs, things that they could do 2.0s of or 3.0s of in video games. And many people have already said, it takes like 2 to 4 years to make a sequel to a game and maybe 6 to 7 years to make a brand new IP and stuff like that. I'm definitely not over here saying Sony ain't working. I know Sony's working, and they got some stuff that they probably really want to show us that's going to knock our socks off at some point. But the reason behind my statement right here is more or less saying that, hey, even the biggest, baddest person in the room sometimes has a slow spell.
Yes.
Where only one, maybe 2 games might come out. I mean, albeit they'll be quality, they'll be fantastic. I mean, Insomniac doesn't miss, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, they're definitely going to hold that crown. I'm the only one dropping something this year. I'll make you look good. So I 100% am thinking that's probably decent. But anyway, shout out to the chat. I see you guys in here. Fantastic having you guys. Stanley Francois, Big Bad, or I always say bad, Big Mad Mo. I need to get that M right. Big Mad Mo. I've seen him so many times. There's no excuse for me to be saying his name wrong. He says Metal Gear trash. Oh, man. This is a slanderous chat today. Jesus.
Oh, man.
And graphics god, what's cracking? Good to see you. Kay Asante pulling up. Just for those of you that don't know, Loke is with his wife taking care of her. She's a little under the weather today, so I got my brother Matt Likes Games here with me today to help me distribute this news to you fine individuals out in the gaming community. But moving forward, or actually more or less standing still, because we're still on this topic, and I also wanted to bring up Konami for Silent Hill as well, which, I mean, if you're announcing Silent Hill and Metal Gear in the same showcase, I mean, you don't have to like PlayStation to know that that's freaking amazing.
Yes, that's huge news.
I mean, I could care less about Silent Hill, and I'm here to tell you, I don't care about it. But I know the history behind that IP, in like the love that people have. I mean, if you look at the classic games of Silent Hill now, they're so expensive to try to buy. Like just like Silent Hill 2 or something like that, it's like $300 freaking or something. I mean, don't quote me on these prices, you guys. But what I'm trying to say is that game is so beloved that it's just crazy, and people will easily pay that. Oh man, that's it. Or you're the only you're the only person that has that copy in town. I'll pay $400 for it, no problem, for that PlayStation game, for the OG PlayStation game, or something like that. It's insane. Hello, Sir X-Man popping up as well. Good to see you up in here. What do you think about Silent Hill, Mike? Do you think this is something that's for you at all, or is this something you just don't give a damn about? I mean, keep it real, brother.
Silent Hill is not for me. Like scary games, as far as scary games, I'll go Dead Space. I'll go things like Dead Space where there's tons of action, but Silent Hill, it's quiet, lets you think too much. Too many noises, whispering.
Are you sure? Because you like that new Resident Evil 4 remake.
But Resident Evil 4, let me tell you, Resident Evil 4's got action. That's got action. I'm roundhouse kicking dudes in the face. I don't know if I'm doing that on Silent Hill. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I've never played Silent Hill. But from what I hear, from what I've watched, That's more psychological. That's more psychological, and I like more action and horror games. So that's what I'm
Hazardous out here with the slight slander saying Alan Wake 2 better.
I need to actually. I bought Alan Wake Remastered. I need to play that because I do want to. I do want to look at Alan Wake 2 when that comes out. I would like to do that.
Yeah, going back just a little, just going into reverse, I just wanted to read this thing that Hazardous also said right here. He said, I made a tweet yesterday where I specifically said some folks are expecting things from Xbox, old traditional ways, while they have shifted their brand completely different directions since 2017. Thank you, Hazardous, for coming out and saying that. In the chat, because I've been repeatedly saying that on this show, like, yo, I get it. Xbox has been around for 20 plus years now. But what they just did, essentially, back in 2017 is turn themselves into an infant again. And say, we're restarting. We're starting from scratch all over again. So if you are expecting the same type of way to go about business like they did for the 360 or the original Xbox or even the Xbox One. Okay. I mean, if you still think they're trying to do stuff like the Xbox One, you ain't been paying attention.
Right.
I mean, let's be real. You ain't been paying any attention if you think that they're doing anything like last generation or a couple of generations before, and them coming out with a rough game like Redfall isn't going to suddenly just move the ship in a totally different direction. They are very much invested in what they are doing, and I ain't mad about it. I ain't mad about it at all. They openly admitted, quality issues and performance issues with Redfall and said, yo, this can't happen again. My job is on the line. This cannot happen again.
Yeah.
So, like, with that being said, am I worried? Not really. Am I like impatient? Absolutely. Absolutely, I'm impatient. Absolutely. It's been, I mean, if you're an Xbox fan, you deserve to be impatient as a mug at this moment. But I tell you what, but I tell you what, I ain't finna buy into the hype of, oh, I need to ask. I had one person pop into my Twitter, and I said something positive, I think, to like Aaron Greenberg or something, just saying something along the lines of like, yeah, that was rough, but we know you guys can do better. Like something along that line, right?
Yeah.
And this person, of course, can jump in and say, I'm chilling, I'm doing all this stuff and whatnot. And then he ended it with, you should ask for better and you will get better. So I turned around and asked him, I said, can you be a better person? I mean, because if we're asking things to be better and it just works by saying, hey, be better. And that I could tweet Xbox and say, hey, be better. Or I can just tweet you. Since you came into my comments being disrespectful, why can't I just ask you to be better? And he said, oh, that's not how it works. I was talking about talking to the company. I was like, well, if it ain't going to work for you, how do you think it's going to work for $1 trillion company?
Why would Satya Nadella care if you don't care about this? I mean, like, dude's a trillionaire company. It's a huge ass company. Like, I don't know why he thinks that's gonna just. Problems are fixed. Problems are fixed now. Everything's fine because one person on Twitter demanded better.
Yeah. You know what fixed the PS3 situation way back when? Facebook and Twitter.
Yep.
And then the Xbox One, they didn't know that it was looking rough until it hit Twitter. Like get out of here, man. Twitter ain't changing. Twitter is not gonna improve a gaming company. People need to get off of that. Like, it's who you know that may be able to help you, like, talk to somebody. But if you're out here acting a fool saying, oh, do better, be better, and you're just like hitting up random developers saying nonsense, like, don't nobody want to talk to you and don't nobody take you serious.
Exactly.
I'm not here for that. But anyways, I see you, Casino. Thanks for hopping through. Let's see. I want to read some of these chats in here. Yeah, Sir X-Men says Condemned needs a remastered. I ain't mad about that. You remember Condemned, Matt?
I do remember Condemned. I've not played. That's another one of those games. Seems too. That's too much for me. Seems like it's too much for me.
Yeah, I know you're not a horror guy. Casino says, "What's up?" Panel in chat. Love the Hunter x Hunter shirt or Hunter, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I appreciate that, dog. Love the drip. But anyways, moving for. Oh, Stanley Francois says that person was hating. Imagine if PlayStation marketing guys interact on Twitter with the ponies. They would have been thirsty with responsive. Ponies gonna pony. Yeah.
There's a reason. There's a reason you don't see, like, Aaron Greenberg's on Twitter interacting with folks. Phil Spencer's on Twitter interacting with folks. Like, there's a reason you don't see the people on the other side doing that. There's a reason. I mean, whatever that reason is, you can figure that out. But there's a reason for that. So I just think about it because it's definitely worth acknowledging.
All right. Speaking of things worth acknowledging, let's go on ahead and acknowledge Redfall right now. And I want to specifically talk about this article that came in through Game Rant. Shout out to Ashley Clauding. She put an article up saying Redfall developer has already started working on its next game. Surprise, surprise.
Ooh, let's go.
Are you surprised by any of this news?
Absolutely not. Dude. What did Mike say? Mike said he talked to Jez, and Jez told him that Arcane Austin would not be seeing this forward, or at least that's what Jez was speculating. And Jez was speculating that it would be Roundhouse Studios to, if anyone's going to fix Redfall, it's going to be Roundhouse Studios. So when Mike told me that, or that he heard that, I was like, okay, that's exciting. Because we'll get Redfall to a state it needs to be, it'll be fixed, and then we'll see what we can do from there to maybe, improve it in the long term. But that also means we're getting a new Arcane Austin game. And Arcane Austin, last game before Redfall, was Prey. So maybe Prey 2. Now, I'm getting my hopes up. I'm already excited just hearing that. I didn't see this. Was this today? This came out?
1 day ago, it says.
1 day ago. So I didn't see this, but that has me very excited.
Yeah. You're itching. You look happy. You look excited.
Oh, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled.
So I'll read just a little bit of this article, and you can take it as it is. But Ashley goes on to say in this article that it seems that Redfall developers Arcane Studios has already started thinking about its next big title and might have left the game behind entirely. After months of building expectations, Redfall was released on May 2nd, 2023. Unfortunately, the launch of the game was not perfect. I mean, that's kind of a understatement, but
it wasn't perfect. They're not lying.
and many left, and it left many gamers feeling unsatisfied with what was supposed to be a finished product, ready for consumers. Those working on the product were aware of how it failed fans, and even Phil Spencer himself expressed his disappointment in an interview, apologized for letting fans down. There are several games that have been able to redeem themselves, yada, yada. I'm going to skip that paragraph because it's just talking about redemption. But it says, not even a week after Redfall's release, Arcane Studios posted a new job listing online, and it seems like it's looking for game developers to help on its next AAA project. Arcane Studios has lots of good games, and gamers would like Redfall to still become one of those despite its rough start, even though the company might not have abandoned Redfall entirely this leads many players to believe that Arcane will no longer be putting significant effort into it, accepting that there's no going back. Then again, it's possible Arcane will stay dedicated to fixing Redfall even with the new game seemingly in the works. Fans will have to wait and see how it plays out. So, yeah, I mean, in my opinion, it's very much like you said, possibly. Like, they could be possibly working on getting getting Roundhouse to work on Redfall and just have somebody from or some people from Arcane oversee that while while the majority of the team works on the next game. You know, I mean, that's my opinion on how it could possibly be going down. What do you think, Matt?
I think you're spot on. I think you're spot on, and I think I mean, I would like that. I would really, really like that. Hazador. Okay, Hazador says, let's acknowledge we stopped putting fall in the name of games. You got Godfall, Redfall. What are the other falls? Those are the last two bangers, right? Was Godfall and Redfall. So that's pretty good.
Crossfire X Fall.
Well, you could do that. You could put fall in just anything now. Crossfire X definitely deserves a fall in the name. I mean, Crossfire X dude, talking about broken games, just not complete. Crossfire X was something special. That was just something different. That was a special game.
Yeah, it was something, all right. It was something. But moving on to the next topic, because I think that was good enough. Or better yet, I also want to bring up, before we actually move to the next topic, I kind of know how you're feeling with Redfall, but let's give the audience an idea of our experiences with it. I want you to go first and just kind of tell them how the game's been treating you. And, you know,
it's been an abusive relationship. Let's say that much. And the problem is I keep turning it on and I keep expecting better, and it's just never going to happen. But tonight I'm going to play it again, and it's going to happen again. That's what's going to happen. So every night me and him are playing this, and every night, last night, perfect example. There was the first time I saw something in this game that gave me a glimpse of Arcane. I found like a door. There was like a little code that you had to decipher on the back, on the wall in the back. And once you deciphered that code, then you could open the door with the proper code. And I was like, okay. I opened the door. I was like, that's awesome, right? Then we get down there, game just crashes.
That's Arcane.
Yeah, that's Arcane. And then the game just crashes. And I'm like, okay. All right. Then we get back in. And then I'm pretty sure we ran into like a game-breaking bug on a mission. And I'm just like, all right. I'm done. I'm done for the night. The game will tell you when you're done playing, pretty much.
Yeah, it'll just break.
The game lets you know. It'll let you know when you're done.
Oh, Big Mad Mo with the hot stuff. He said Babylon Fall.
Dude, oh my God. We all forgot about Babylon's Fall.
That game's completely dead, too.
That game like peaked at like 6 concurrent players. That game was a travesty. But yeah, it's a good point. And the game, all in all, Redfall's a fun game, but it's just broken, man. You got to have people to play it with. It's just a broken game right now.
Yeah, broken. I mean, it has a fairly addictive kind of loop with it.
Yeah,
but it's just kind of poorly executed.
Yes, 100%.
Like me and XL or XI or IX Boogie. I don't remember. I just call him Boogie. But some of you guys may know him. Really good dude in the community and whatnot. He's going to be starting to do Twitch streams and stuff like that. So shout out to him. He was saying like, you know, like this game has a lot to be like pretty much wished it was there. Like man, it'd be nice if this was there. It'd be nice if that was there. It'd be nice if, you know, instead of you attacking enemies, they were actually patrolling, walking around and doing stuff. It feels like every time you run to go into a fight, it's like you're going to a base full of people just hanging out smoking cigarettes. like that's essentially what they're doing. They're literally just hanging out there until you see like a question mark over their head saying,
"Yep,
oh, it's time to do something, you guys." I love the way Boogie's put it. He's like, they say that the vampires are running the streets and took over things, but what it really feels like is the vampires came and just hunkered down.
Yeah, they're all hiding.
They're not really running anything. They're not all over town. They're not, they're just kind of in these very like specific spots telling you, hey, I wish a motherfucker would. That's what every area is I wish a motherfucker would, and I always would. I will I would. But anyways,
100%.
I don't want to keep bashing on this game. I'm finding time to enjoy it. I'm seeing a lot of different people that were bashing the game on Twitter and stuff like that, finding themselves enjoying the game somehow, some way. Although it is broken in many aspects. Yes. So obviously this game had something, but it just didn't execute it properly. Moving on to PlayStation for the month of May 2023. The games are revealed. Those games are Grid Legends, Chivalry 2, Descenders. Is this, are any of these making you jump out of your seat to go turn on your PlayStation?
Okay, so no, and not because they're bad games.
No, they're not.
Grid Legends, Grid Legends is actually pretty good. I actually still need to beat that on Xbox, but Grid Legends is a pretty dope racing game. Chivalry 2 is a fun time, just mindless multiplayer fun. So recommend that for sure. And then Descenders is a great game. A great game to just like not even really pay attention to what you're playing and just have something to play. You could play that for like an hour. Yeah, just downhill biking. You could play that game for an hour and completely not realize an hour's gone by. It's a fun time. All those games are pretty fun. I got them all on Xbox. That's kind of the unfortunate thing. So I guess I'll grab them. I'll claim them. On PlayStation I'll have them, but I don't know how much time I'll be putting into all those games there.
So you said something that was very telling just a moment ago, and you said, I have all of those. And whether you completely own them or not, they're all already available in Game Pass.
Yes, they are.
So it's not as exciting to me, but for somebody that doesn't have an Xbox or doesn't have Game Pass for their PC, pretty good deal right here. I'm not mad about it at all. Chivalry 2, which is a pretty good game. I know Vinny got heavily addicted to that game for a hot minute. That one's coming for the PS4 and PS5 version. Grid Legends, same. And Descenders is just a PS4 version of that game. I didn't want to spend too much time on it. I just wanted to, I'm not even sure if there is a next-gen patch for that game or not.
I thought there was. I'm going to have to look. I'll go right to my Xbox right now and look that up while you're talking.
All right. Well, you can answer that here just momentarily, but until then, I'm going to the next topic, which is a weird one. This topic is super weird, and let me go on ahead and put this up so you guys can actually see what I'm seeing.
Yep.
I probably should have did this earlier, but I said F it. And yeah, it doesn't want to show me anything. That's cool. All right, so I guess I'm not doing that. Anyways, this article says Discord will soon be requiring users to pick a new username. I'm going to read a good portion of this article because this is interesting, and I'm not really sure as to why. And I mean, we're both going to figure out at the same time, you guys in the chat and those of you listening. So this article on IGN.com written by Alessandro Filiare or something like that. I don't know. I'm probably ruining that name. Anyways, it says Discord, the popular app that has become the backbone for most gaming communities, has just announced some major changes, and it will involve Discord users having to update their usernames. As a shared or as shared on the official Discord blog, users will be prompted to change their usernames to something new without the digits applied to it. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Presently, Discord usernames have a set of numbers applied to it, but with new changes coming to the app's infrastructure, this will be phased out entirely. The most elaborate, the post elaborates that this change will also allow users to have an easier time to identify and connect with your friends, and that the newly chosen username will be unique to the user for Discord, which to me, let's be real, that sounds pretty fantastic. I hate those damn numbers.
I was just about to say that I remember reading this a few days ago, and I was like, "Thank God! I hope we get to choose a new name as soon as possible." Honestly, because I'm like you, I'm sick of those numbers. I'm really tired of those numbers at the end of names.
All right, and the article continues to say, it kind of gives you a breakdown of what you can do or whatever, but it says the usernames will allow for names made of characters chosen from the A through Z alphabet, numbers 0 through 9, an underscore, and a period. The restrictions for new names must be within 2 to 32 characters long. Jeez Louise, 32. Case sensitive and forced lowercase, no specialized characters, no continuous periods, and must adhere to community guidelines. The new username changes will be rolled out over the next weeks, with the app notifying users that they can apply a revised name. The blog post also states that users with older accounts can get a username change quicker than more recent accounts. That doesn't sound bad to me. That sounds fairly simple, straightforward, pretty easy. I'm really happy that they're taking those numbers away, because I used to get super irritated when I was trying to tell somebody to join my Discord, and then they're like, "Hey, what's your name?" and or what's the number behind your name? And I'm like, "Fuck, I don't know."
Right? God, I don't know. I don't know mine. My Discord name.
To this day, I mean, I'm using Discord right now, and I mean,
yep.
I'd have to admit,
right.
I still don't know it.
No idea.
I mean, I'm sure I could look it up in like 5 seconds, but yeah, screw it.
Nope.
But anyways, shout out to the chat one more time. I see Sour Blow came through. Hard Days Mike is up in the chat as well. Shout out to him.
Oh my God, it's Mike.
Dorian Gray, Decado. Yeah, really good to see you. You brothers and sisters in the chat. I don't know if there's any women in here, but I just figured I'd go ahead and just throw that out there just in case. But anyways, yeah, I'm excited for these changes. But let's move on to the next topic, which I'm just gonna braze over this real quick.
Okay.
And this is not exactly super new news, but another country approves the Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal, that being the CMA for Ukraine. So that is still being worked on. And I know that, and I know for certain that Activision, Blizzard, and Microsoft both got like UK lawyers, like big time UK lawyers, to help fight for the merger for the Activision Blizzard deal with Xbox and Microsoft. So I mean, that's interesting, but we're done with that topic.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
We're done with that topic. The next thing I wanted to kind of bring up, which has kind of been interesting, is the rumor for Suicide Squad could be removing controversial feature during the delay. So this article is written by Jay Brody Sherry on Game Rant, and yeah, so I guess within this, the Suicide Squad might be getting rid of that always online component. And I mean, I think what a lot of people want them to possibly get rid of is the microtransactions.
I mean, that would be fantastic. That's always good news if that's
Yeah,
the
but I
case.
already know, Matt, you don't really care too much about this game after watching it and whatnot. A whole lot of purple everywhere is what that game seems to be. you're just attacking purple things. But anyways, what's your kind of take on this delay? Do you think that it was necessary, or do you think they should have just kind of did what Redfall did and just kind of drop it and just kind of move on?
Well, the thing is,
a lot of people were saying that they should have just dropped the game. Screw it, whatever.
Yeah. See, the thing is, for Redfall, I like Arcane. I care about Arcane. So for that reason, I was hoping they would delay it. I don't even know who's making this. I know it's WB. Obviously, it's an WBIP. But like, who's doing this? It's the people who did Batman, right? It's Rocksteady.
Yes, Rocksteady. Yep.
Okay. So, I mean, yeah, I like Rocksteady. I would like to see them make a game that's good, and if this makes the game better in some way, shape, or form, then by all means, go ahead and do it. But for me personally, I still don't know that I'm into it. I mean, making it all, like, removing the always online requirement, if that's the thing, is a huge step in the right direction. Removing so many of those microtransactions, it's just weird that that game has a battle pass to me. It's weird that that game was set up to have a battle pass. I just don't see how that. I mean, apparently WBC is how it's going to work. So, like, God bless, but I just can't see that being a thing that I would be interested in, a battle pass for that game. But, if they're reworking it, they're reworking it. Hopefully they get things right. Hopefully the fans are excited about it. If they get it to a certain place, maybe I will check it out. But as of this moment, I don't think I don't think I'm too excited for that.
Yeah, I mean, I know brother Dragonheart Yobi's excited to play the game. I know K Mega's excited. 108 Dragon Lemon, he's excited to play that game. Yeah. I'm not exactly dying to play it. It's something that I mean, this is one of those games that's going to be probably $70, and I'm gonna wait until it's like $20. I'm not dying to play something like that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, speaking of $20, Sam, I saw a tweet. I can't remember who it was, but somebody tweeted out deals on Xbox right now. You've been wanting Gotham Knights. That is $23 on Xbox right now. Apparently.
Here we go. So, hey,
just letting you know about that.
Yeah, because I was one of those people that said I'll pay it in the frames. Like, it's 30 frames, I'll pay up to $30 for that game because it's just not that exciting to me. It seems like it might have a decent story, but really I'd be hopping into that game just to play co-op and get out. And I didn't buy Redfall. I played it on Xbox Game Pass. 30 frames. I'm just not dying to purchase a game that I'm not completely interested in and doesn't have the performance specs that I'm looking for. I will play a game at 30 FPS. I'm obviously doing that with Redfall, and unfortunately, I'm doing that with Jedi Survivor, as you guys may be seeing on the screen right here. That game is busted when it comes to the performance mode. It stinks, and a lot of people will say, "Oh, it's not that bad," or "I don't see any problems," or whatnot. But I'm sorry, that's you. Yeah, you're not looking. I'm having a lot of performance issues with that. It's a fantastic game, and I'm happy I purchased it. Don't want a refund at all, but I just want to wait a little bit longer, maybe a few more patches, and apparently,
same.
I mean, I didn't have this written down for news as of today, but didn't EA announce that they are, during this week, going to have a performance patch for PC? And then supposedly today, they're supposed to have a patch for the consoles. Is that right?
consoles. Yeah, so today they just released a patch. I know on Series X, Vinny said it was like 27 gigabytes on Series X. It's updated on my Series S. I looked at it before we started the show. It's updated. I'll try it on my Series X later. I know PC's getting one, like you said, later this week, apparently, to fix some of the pretty big performance issues there. So they're making progress. They're making progress on it, and I've got high hopes. I'll hop in tonight, see if it's any better. But if it's not, then just like you, I'm gonna keep waiting. I'm gonna keep
Oh
waiting
my
to play
god,
that game at its best.
I'm checking out the chat now, and it's fun. I'll tell you that much. It's pretty
boy.
fun. Sour Blow shouts out and says, "Let's hit that like button." So yeah, do that, you guys. I'd really appreciate that. That'd be dope. If you're checking this out, watching,
Share it out.
Hit that like button. If it's your first time being here, hit that subscribe button. We're more than happy to have you come back. Spit your bars if you need to in the chat. Definitely holler at your boy on Twitter at HamSolo05Gaming. But anyways, Ducato also says, yes, they are hopefully allowing names to be saved until. Okay, so he's talking about the Discord thing, and then Mike says, "Is the feature purple?" Oh my god! So he's still talking. So he's talking about not Gotham Knights, but Suicide Squad. Hazardous game in NTX or not? It's not Batman game.
Yeah. Yeah,
he's just saying,
and that's the thing.
It's not a Batman game, so it's not like I don't know. Or I'm guessing he's saying it's just not that special to him, seeing that it's not really a Batman game. It's it's actually a game that you're destroying all of your favorite characters.
Pretty much. That's kind of a good point, actually. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I want Batman. I want Batman, and that's not Batman.
Yeah, I see the Flash in there, and I'm just like, I want to play as him. I don't want to play. I don't want to play as that person over there. I don't want to be Spider. The Spider-Man acting girl, Harley Quinn. Yeah, Spider Quinn.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to do that. But like I said, I have no problem giving the game a try. I'm just not going to do it at full price. If this was in Game Pass, it'd be something I'd play within the first week for sure. But definitely not something that I'm running out to put $70 into their pockets to play. Not at all. Mike also says, have you guys talked about the people being disingenuous, Starfield having microtransactions? Yeah. I haven't heard anything about that.
Explain, Mike.
I haven't heard a dang thing about that. So yeah, Mike, elaborate a little further on that if you can, brother. Yeah, definitely. And then Ducato also says, didn't most old guard Rocksteady leave during production? Saying like, I guess like people in Rocksteady. I don't know that. Do you?
I don't know that, but it's possible. It seems like that's a common theme today.
Yeah,
is games are in production, and then the head people on all the games you loved are leaving. So it's like, it seems to be a common theme. I wouldn't be surprised, but I haven't heard that, so I don't know.
Then Dorian Gray coming in here with something spicy, saying, I like Gotham Knights for one reason. Batgirl is thick.
God. Yeah, I remember seeing that all over my timeline. When the game
He's playing the game for the yams, man. He's playing it for the yams. All right, and then Sour Blow, stop it. Saying 120 FPS equals $120. I mean, hey, if it's a dope deluxe edition, maybe. But no. No, Sour Blow, I'm not doing that. It was more or less a joke. 30 FPS, $30 for 30 FPS. It was just a joke. But anyways, Sir X Man, is that gonna be microtransactions? It's gonna be mods. I don't even know what to say about that. Possibly, but Mike going.
So Hazador said he tweeted about what Mike was talking about. Okay, so you want me to read this tweet?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so in regards to all the talking, which I haven't seen the talking yet, but Hazardor says in-game purchases doesn't mean MTX, as every game that has a deluxe edition has this label. Looks like most have forgotten that's counted as in-app purchases and doesn't mean there will actually be MTX. Games like Horizon Forbidden West and Ratchet and Clank also have this label. So, and he also mentions Bethesda Creation Club, which has been a staple for multiple Bethesda titles in the past. Now, that's what I was thinking. Maybe they're talking about Creation Club, where I know like certain mods. I believe it's like certain mods that are just you pay for them because they're like sponsored official things that Bethesda endorses, and they put it in Creation Club, and then you pay for them, and that's how you support the creators of the mods. Maybe that's what they're talking about, but I don't know. I don't see MTX being in this game.
Yeah, it just doesn't. That doesn't really add up to me. Hearing something like that, it just doesn't make any sense. It seems like such a weird direction that even Redfall said no to eventually.
Yes,
because remember Redfall. You were talking about that just the other day. That in like the alpha. And like when they showed off like the alpha thing or that leaked or whatever,
when it got leaked,
there was microtransactions that were supposedly supposed to be in that game that never ended up coming to fruition.
Yes, 100%. So yeah, I'm not expecting microtransactions. But yeah, I mean, what Mike said, I'm not surprised people are being disingenuous about it, or just jumping to conclusions before we know anything. But I mean, Bethesda has to know the optics of putting microtransactions in their single player RPG. Todd Howard's not a dumb person. He fully understands the optics of that, and I highly doubt that is what is happening here. So
yeah. I agree. Mike says your favorite shocked face YouTubers are already making videos, and Revnator in the chat. Shout out to Revnator. Welcome. He says just one word. It's two words, but he pushed them together. Dreamcast guy.
Oh yeah.
That sounds like a Dreamcast guy video. It does.
You're not wrong.
It does.
Microtransactions and stuff.
Yeah, I know, right? This is his thumbnail, right? Oh my god! like blown away by it. Anyways, going a little bit further. That's pretty much most of what we got to talk about. But if you want, Matt, we can go through some of that Phil Spencer interview if you want to. Everyone's kind of talked about it quite a bit. But what I want you to specifically kind of talk about is some of the things that you mentioned in the video that you had on your channel, Matt Likes Games. Go on ahead and talk about that video that you made, and also talk about some of the more important things that needed to be kind of that needed to be more or less like really thought of compared to what people are kind of running with.
Yes. So the video I made was I focused in on Mike mentioned it earlier, I don't know how you would say it, disingenuity. People being disingenuous. Yeah, people just being disingenuous surrounding the entire interview. And taking Phil Spencer's words, basically just making up a quote that he said that he didn't really say, where he said, I believe the direct quote was, making great games. We lost the most important generation to lose, the Xbox One, PS4 generation. They lost that. And then he goes on to say that making great games isn't enough to win the console race for Xbox. And in my video, I use the example of, the 360 versus the PS3. Everyone, general consensus, at least here in America, I can only speak for America, that's where I'm from. In America, like when I talk to my friends at school, or you went online to MySpace at the time, early like really early Xbox One was MySpace, then Facebook. When you went online, it was people were talking about Xbox 360. No one was talking about PS3. And then I didn't see a PS3 in person until like ninth grade, like at a person's house. But like, even with all that mind share that they had back then, PS3 won that generation and console sales. So there's really no winning console sales for Xbox. Even at their best, that's not a thing that happens. But people were running with this idea now that Phil Spencer said, "Hey, we don't need to make great games. We're not in the business of making great games anymore." And I thought that was just really disingenuous of folks. People just make like, and in the community, I get it. Like, I get trolls on Twitter making that up. But then you see like actual articles being written by like really reputable like websites saying that Phil Spencer said this, and it was really dumb. It was really dumb. So I made a video about it. But you mentioned also, Jeremy Brown says PS3 didn't win that gen. Go ahead and look up those numbers, Jeremy Brown. Look up the numbers of console sales in that generation. PS3 won that generation.
Jeremy. They won in console sales, but the mind share was all
Xbox.
And if you ask like most gamers that aren't looking at all these statistics, they're gonna say the exact same thing that you're saying, Jeremy. You're 100%. Not crazy incorrect with that thought process, but the facts show that the console sales belonged to the PlayStation by the end.
And that's all I'm saying. It's like obviously for me, like it's not even close. The Xbox won that like in terms of the fun I had on the console,
Mike's right. The Wii really won. The Wii really actually won.
Well, actually, yeah, Mike, that's a
the
good
Wii
point.
Dominated. The Wii
that's
dominated.
Point,
we're just not talking about that right now. We're
arguing about second place here. But yes, see, Jeremy Brown's right. 360 was the market leader and had the mind share. But at the end of the day, PlayStation sold more consoles, and that's what Phil Spencer was talking about: was winning the console sales battle, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, like that's all I was saying. And you mentioned Ham, bring up some points that people aren't talking about, and I want to bring up a point that you mentioned in the party last night that had us both pretty excited. Phil Spencer was saying in that interview, the very same interview where everybody was very doom and gloom, that he sees the vision now of a game every quarter by Xbox. That's every 3 months by Xbox. He's seeing the vision of them putting out a quality game every 3 months.
Yep, he said it. It might not be a game that you love every single time.
Yes, 100%,
or that everybody loves. You know, he did say there is no one game that's gonna rule all of games. But they are definitely going to be pumping out some content. And I assume after the whole debacle with Redfall and whatnot, it's going to be a lot of quality, much better received content. I mean, in my opinion, if you just look at the way this whole kind of Redfall thing went down, I mean, Matt, we were even talking about like, oh crap, we've completely forgot about like the whole Texas ice storm. That messed up thing. I mean, goodness gracious!
A full month.
I mean, we understand the whole COVID thing. Every developer had to go through something like that. Yeah. But I mean, it felt like Microsoft in particular just could not get a W. And I was actually bringing this up when we were talking about it prior on Xbox Live. I was saying like, man, like it's insane how like the generation started for Xbox. Like you could tell that they really wanted to get something out, but they just couldn't. And when they thought they could, they shouldn't have. They were way too eager to get things just out there. And I think Redfall was one of those things where it was just like, man, they just wanted to give you something.
Yeah.
And it just ended up being perceived horribly. I mean, if you look at the beginning of, or actually right before the beginning of this generation, Gears 5 dropped. And then Coalition said, see you later. We're taking a break from that.
New and existing customers can choose the phone they want, like the incredible iPhone 14.
It's wait, what?
No. I had an ad pop onto my screen, and I was just like, it was blasting in my ears. That wasn't dope. But anyways, man, I forgot what I was saying now. Oh yeah. So
Gears 5.
So Gears 5 came out right at the end of the Xbox One generation, and yeah, Coalition said, you know what, taking a break for a little while. And then Halo was supposed to be that groundbreaking game to come out that was, launch title. And then that ended up getting pushed back a year. And then they ended up buying a studio that had to deliver exclusives somewhere else.
Yep.
Like if you think about the situation and you put it together like a logical human being, it's just like, man, they just couldn't stop tripping over themselves. And some of it they kind of had control of, but a lot of it was just kind of like, what can you do? What can you do? Yeah, bad timing. Totally bad timing. So do I give Xbox a pass? In some cases, yes, absolutely I do. For some cases, am I impatient for them in thinking that they haven't given me enough lately? Absolutely, I agree with that too. Yeah. I agree with that too. What's wrong with agreeing with both of those sentiments?
100%. Like, and it's true. It's like we're all impatient. We all want to play games. I want to play Starfield right now. We can't. We got to wait a few months for it. It sucks, but dude, I've waited. They announced Starfield in 2018? I've been waiting since 2018 for this game. A few more months is nothing. It's nothing. I got this, It's the same thing for Hellblade. Like Phil Spencer also mentioned Hellblade in that thing. We got to wait a couple months. In fact, we got to wait a month, and then we'll hear about how long we need to wait or how many more months we need to wait. But it's like, dude, we've been waiting for that since, what was that, 2019? Before they released the Series X, we knew about Hellblade. They showed us that before that. We've been waiting for since 2019, man. I can't wait a few more months. It's not a big deal. I'm all set. Plus, there's too many things coming out this summer to play that's just gonna suck my time. So, I mean, I'm all set.
I remember I went on to Mooch's podcast, and I was actually there with like J-Dub, Persona, and I think Lord Addict was there. The Mag was there. It was a pretty dope panel of just different types of gamers, right? And they were all, there's no excuse for Xbox. They should have games out. They should have this, blah, blah, blah. They should have that. And I asked all of them. I just stopped the conversation. I was like, yo, you guys, how long does it take to make a game? I just asked the whole panel that. Mooch and all of them were like, yeah, it takes about 3 or 4 years to make a game, like a continuation of a game, and then like 6, maybe 7 years to make a brand new IP that's supposed to like a brand new AAA big IP. And I was like, okay, well, you guys just answered that to me. When did they get Obsidian? When did they get Playground? When did they get, Bethesda? When did they get all these studios? And they're like, 2017, 2018. And I was like, well, then by your own logic, they're right on time.
Yeah.
By your own logic, they're right on time. But what we're just doing is being impatient and salty and looking across the aisle and seeing somebody that already has like a God of War. They already have a template for that. They already have a template for Horizon. They already have a template for Gran Turismo. They already have a template for Spider-Man. They already have I don't know about Ratchet and Clank because that game felt like it was built different. But
Ratchet and Clank was pretty impressive.
It was very impressive, but it was also very short.
It was very short. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like you got like people complain about Xbox is taking too long. Xbox is I get that. They are taking too long in the sense of, man, what should have we had last generation that we could have got a sequel to this generation? If you think about it, there's not a whole lot from the last generation to sequel into this generation.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like we're waiting the normal amount of time we should be waiting. The problem is that before that process of waiting, there was absolutely nothing, and Xbox almost died. So it's like now we're coming off of that, and we're still waiting for the games that are taking the amount of time they should be taking, and we're super impatient because we like games and we want to play them, and it's totally fine that we're impatient, like you said, but at the same time, being realistic is very important. It's hard to develop a game under normal circumstances, let alone whatever happened this past 3 years. And let alone in a special case like Arcane Austin, they had an ice storm that took them out for about a month. So, it's all different variables that factor into it, and it adds more time to something that we're already impatient for, and it sucks, but that is life. That is life, sadly.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jeremy Brown. He says that was some tough times. It really was.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, as Matt just got done say, they almost shut down. Phil and them even admitted it in the dang what was it called, the series that they had or something like that, the Xbox series.
And the docuseries.
Yeah, the docuseries. Yeah, they flat out admitted, like, we were like just not. We were very close to throwing in the towel.
Yeah,
very close.
And what Mike says in the chat, like, we need more transparency. I agree with that 100%. Like, and it doesn't always need to be a trailer. Like, I don't need to see a trailer every year for a game, but I don't know, show like some behind the scenes stuff. Like, I feel like In Exile would be really good at this kind of thing. I know obviously they want to showcase that, they want to reveal their game first before you start getting stuff like that, but like once your game's revealed, there's like, I feel like it's just cool to see behind the scenes stuff. Like, here's some screenshots from a build we were working on, and here's the progress we made from that build to this build. Here's what we're proud of. We've done these animations where they look really good versus these old like stuff like that would be nice to see, but it's not something that we often see. Not just from Xbox, but just in general. That's not something we see very often. But it would be awesome to see stuff like that.
All right, and I'm going to go back to the chat and read a little bit before we call it quits here. But Jeremy Brown says, "I can't wait. I cannot wait. I got Rear. It looks like it says Rear and Dragon's Dogma last night." Revenator says, oh my goodness, he says Persona hiding in the corner, crying to change the subject. That's that. Yeah, I mean, during that show, Sir X-Men will tell you. He actually says right down here. He said, let him have it on Crossfire." Persona left shortly after I said that. He did. Like people started, like J-Dub left and he didn't even say goodbye. Like people were dropping after I was like you guys say one thing and then like I literally told him, I was like, you guys are saying one thing and then anticipating something completely different, and it's just not adding up. So let's see. Jeremy Brown says all I got is games and Call of Duty. Mike says we need transparent. Okay, you already read that, Matt. Hazardous Gaming says the problem with Xbox fans, they are not updated on games that were announced 3 to 5 years. Hey, that right there, bud. That right there. It and like Matt just got done saying, it doesn't even need to be a huge trailer or anything. Just that little bit of what we got from Hellblade, from the Unreal Engine, from GDC.
Yes.
What was it? GDC?
I think it was GDC that, yeah, they were just demoing the Unreal Engine, all these different studios, and Ninja Theory was there, and they showed just some very small snippets of stuff like facial animations.
Just talking into like a camera phone.
Yeah.
Like doing the mocap.
Yes, and it looked phenomenal.
Just
It looked
that
unreal. Actually,
just
unreal.
that little bit right there was enough for people to be like, "Oh, let's go." You know, like everybody was excited, like, "Oh, this is getting closer." This is like there was no date next to that. There was no like this is what to there was nothing. There was just look at this real quick. Okay, bye. Ninja Theory. and it was perfect. It was great. Let's see. What else did I have there? So yeah, I like that statement. Hazardous. You were on point with that.
Bro.
Fast back then says. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. You're gonna get to it.
He says, Fastback, OGNLG podcast. Shout out to Fastback and the Gamers United Guild. He says, exactly, Ham. They acquired ZeniMax in 2021 and the others 2018. Phil also given the studios the freedom, no demands approach, maybe not best for some, but ... Exactly. So like, we're just impatient as fans and gamers, and that's okay.
Yeah.
It's especially since it was so sparse the previous generation. I get it. Yeah. I'm impatient too. I'm frustrated too. You seen me last year when they announced that Starfield was getting delayed. I was that guy to be like, what the F, Xbox? Why did you get us so hyped and not know for sure that you're... I mean, the Xbox is at a point that they can't afford to announce something and just be like, we screwed up. And we clearly seen it with Redfall. They can't afford to announce something and just be like, it didn't work the way we wanted to. No, it kind of has to work.
It does.
Let's see. Casino says Xbox fans have the patience of a saint. And then he goes on to say Phil saved Xbox, which is an absolute fact. And that kind of ties back into this whole... that whole interview that they had, and people are like calling for like his job, other people's job, and a third, and it's just like, I get being mad at whoever was supposed to oversee and do the mock reviews and stuff like that for Redfall. I get that. Like, you should be mad as hell about that. But I'm not going to pretend that Xbox needs to do a 180 out of nowhere after committing and buying these studios, trying to get Activision Blizzard, getting Obsidian and all these guys in 2018. They should just, you know what? This one game by not even the biggest studio over at Xbox should somehow flip the entire script for the whole freaking platform. We should get rid of Phil and then just hire some random person that has no idea, that thinks this train is going 100 miles an hour, and then they hop in and find out it's going 1,000 miles an hour, and they can barely move.
Yes.
Like, Phil is the only person that should be there right now to take care of it and continue to lead it until he at least got it to where he wanted it. Whether it works or not is different. But at least let him live out what he wanted to do with that. Let's see. Fastback also says transparency and better messaging at the right time. Revenator says like a development. Yes, just like a dev diary. Those dev diaries. I believe Ninja Theory did some dev diaries. Mm-hmm. Who else was doing some dev diaries? I think somebody else was, wasn't they?
I thought it was just Ninja Theory. I'll look into that later, but I think it was just Ninja Theory is the one I remember.
I mean, that's the only one that comes off the top of my head, but I felt like there was at least one other. Oh, Starfield. Starfield's been doing some dev diaries. Oh,
you're right. Up until like they did that delay, they were pretty consistent, like every month, putting out a few things behind the scenes of Starfield. That's something I hope we start seeing again in the lead up, like after the showcase and the lead up to Starfield. I really hope we start seeing stuff like that again.
Right, man, because seeing the music and all that stuff, like how having to sit down with Todd and a couple other guys sitting there talking about like what they couldn't wait to work on, and finally the dream has come true and the time is right. And I mean, they're not even really saying too much about the game, but they're just simply hyping it up, and that's all I want to see. I just want to see some hype. Yes. I just want to see some hype. I mean when when you're at the football game and some the wave happens, that gets you hyped. It has nothing to do with the game, but it gets you hyped. It has nothing to do with it. It's little things like that you can just do just to kind of make sure that that your team or your community is just engaging in a positive way.
Yes. Can I by chance read the next one? Because this one is so perfect. So Big Mad Mo says no transparency at all should be given, then no narrative can be made. And I 100% get what he's saying there. Although I agree, I mean, I think we should have transparency, but I get what he's saying there. And here's why what he's saying makes sense. Look at the transparency that Phil gave you in this interview. Look at what all of that led to. So it's like, Phil's got to be sitting there like, I'm never doing that again. Ever. I'm never giving you guys an honest take about anything ever again. Because I gave you an honest take, and now you're saying I said something I didn't say. So like when on a level like that, I get why they don't do transparency. But when it comes to their studios, just like we're talking about, simple dev diaries. There's no reason. Once your game is announced, once you have fully revealed your game, once it's out there, there's no reason, a year after that, you can't just start giving us some sort of like, here's some screenshots, here's what we're working on, here's the music, here's behind this, like stuff like that. It's just fun. It builds a sense of hype in the community, and people enjoy that. It's positive.
Like even a random developer interview, how they got to this game and like what made them so excited to jump onto the team and help out with this specific one, or how they couldn't wait to finally be part of this project that they've been waiting to do forever and stuff like that. Like just little tidbits. I mean, like I said, it doesn't even have to be like showing off the game. Just the fact that somebody's there and wants to talk and wants to keep the hype alive is something that's pretty important to me. Shout out to Venomous Viper coming through saying Forza updates, Starfield updates, and maybe the Psychonauts story. Oh, I don't even know what he's referring to on that one. But what's up, Venomous Viper? You actually rolled in right in time because we are about to call it a day. Matt, it's been a pretty good show. We got 23 people sitting here watching. Go on ahead and shout your stuff out. Let everybody know where they can find you. I mean, other than, on bullshitting every Friday with us on this channel. Yeah. But you got your own channel that you do your own work on, and you've been doing some fantastic work over there. So go on ahead and shout yourself out. Let people know where they can find you, bro.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. But to let people know, you can find me on YouTube at Matt Likes or Matt Likes Games on YouTube. Videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then on Twitter at Matt Likes Games, you can find me. I post there pretty much daily. So check me out over there. Check me out on YouTube, whichever one you want. It's all good.
And there, I put his link in the chat. So you guys, if you want to go over there, click on that. And then hit the subscribe button on him. If you think he has had some fantastic points, go on ahead and go over there and support him. It's free, just like hitting the like button here and hitting the subscribe button here. It's totally free. We don't get paid to do any of this. We're strictly doing it out of passion. And if we do end up getting paid somewhere down the line, that's dope. But as you were seeing, we're just out here trying to do the Lord's work out here, talking positively about gaming in as many different aspects as we possibly can. But anyways, thank you everybody that came out here, checked out the channel. Hopefully you guys had a good time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Make sure you guys come through tomorrow. I'll be doing my show solo. I don't know what I'm going to be talking about in particular quite yet, but I am definitely going to do a little bit of research and find something interesting to talk about. So I will definitely see. Oh, Lord. Hazardous Gaming says, I wish I was paid on Twitter. Okay, I got you, bro. Because you out there doing the Lord's work on Twitter, man.
They might really have to.
You really
Might
are,
have-
man. I mean, everybody here probably has seen your content if they got a Twitter page and whatnot. So,
Yep.
so you keep doing your thing, brother. I hope you had a good time and you come back here. And the same goes for the rest of you guys. Thank you so much for having us take part of your day, and hopefully we made it somewhat better. But with that being said, this is your boy Ham Solo 05 Gaming signing off on the TSWS Gaming YouTube channel for the lowdown, telling you to keep it gaming or keep it moving. Peace out, you guys.
Yes, sir. See.